Speaking of which, earlier on I had to take a note. You called me a mark, which I don't know how you would get that sort of idea. But I've got to ask you a few wrestling questions. So are you ready to mark it on up?
Sure, why not?
Right. Well, one of the things I've been doing is a lot of later era WCW I didn't get to see. So I've been rewatching parts of it on the network, and it's not great for me. But Scott Steiner in 2000, there's a good chance he was the best in the fucking world. He was terrifying. He was real. I could have took him in a shoot, but other people couldn't. And I just thought that it's like he's the one thing that they got really, really right, while
Mm-hmm.
other shit wasn't going well. Like they didn't put the belt on Disco Inferno. Big mistake. Big mistake. But I'm gonna ask you, and of course you were on the WCW booking committee, and I'd love to know, why did Scott Steiner versus Hulk Hogan never happen, or was that ever discussed or planned, or
They were both heels at the time, I believe. And Steiner didn't like Hogan. Steiner didn't like Hogan. That would not have worked. There were some guys that Steiner did not like, and he let everybody know he didn't like him, so we just didn't even bother booking him against those guys.
no? But
He was a bully. Scott Steiner was a backstage. He bullied himself, but he was good. It's like he was a bully. He bullied himself in getting stuff that he wanted, but they usually gave him stuff that he liked. You know what I'm saying? But there was stuff that he did not want to do. You would not convince him to do it. But he was still doing great TV. His interviews were like, if you watch the promos he would cut before the matches, bro, the people were just like, they're just like, he knew how to get that crowd in a frenzy, that they just did not like him,
Do you think that Steiner could have ever gone into MMA?
No, he'd have messed up.
Back?
He had physical issues. He had like screws in his feet and stuff and everything. He had like physical problems. It was amazing that he was like a robot. That if you looked at the stuff that was wrong with him, it's amazing that he went out there and performed. It's like other people would be just kind of like crippled.
But when you talk about because Hogan turned face, this is where the Mark side comes in. Don't know how he ever got that idea. But Hogan turned face in late '99, and then when Steiner was like champion and all that shit, I thought that if they'd have gone with Steiner versus Hogan, that would
wasn't going to happen.
Do you think Hogan shut it down?
I just told you why it was not going to happen.
You're aggressive.
What? Okay, let me ask you a question. What did I say? Why did I say Scott Steiner would never wrestle Hulk Hogan?
Because he didn't like him.
Right. That was not going to happen.
That's fucking. Do you think Steiner was mentally ill?
No. He was just wound different. He wasn't ill at all. He was very intelligent. Scott Steiner's a bright guy. Like you see him kind of like his promos and everything. He's street smart. I mean, he's not a dope. He's an intelligent guy, and he read people pretty well. He would have a good idea. He had his opinions about people that you couldn't change him, and he was I don't know. He's a smart guy. He was smart. Knew how to get himself over.
Was there anybody back then that you think could have taken him in a shoot?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I've never seen the guy shoot, so how would I know?
Well, Scott Steiner's just lucky he didn't mess with me.
Yeah.